a regional office because we know this is very important and it's happening in Turkana. Let's create a regional office to coordinate these issues so that the grievances coming out there, we put them on the table, there are teams there to sort them out. We need a structure in Turkana that will create jobs. We want to get to Talo for them to give us their plans, their procurement plans, their human resource structures, so that we identify how many jobs are there for Kenyans.
These are things
so that
already...
So the Turkana portion, which should be an affirmative action, assuming there are 100 jobs, that the bulk of the jobs should go to Turkana.
What you're asking for from Talo was not part of the agreement that you signed with them as government?
Yes, we signed with them that they will provide all that.
Those are already part of the agreement. But
those are specific areas. That's why I also, in that meeting, suggested that we will have a conference drawing the companies, our experts, our professionals, our leadership, so that Talo delivers their plan of action. What is there in jobs? What is there in tenders? How are they going to do their development? Because we are now under the early oil piloting scheme, but we're going to mega areas. The pipeline. The second phase of this is going to pipeline. So far, the government has spent, through Talo, $2 billion US. The amount in phase one is costing the companies and government $2 billion US. That's 200 billion.
Over 200 billion Kenya shillings.
200 billion Kenya shillings. We are now about to negotiate for 300 billion Kenya shillings. I want to tell my people in Turkana to relax. There are jobs coming. 300 billion will be spent on this project. It's big time.
Were expectations not well set by government? Is that why we find ourselves?
That is where we got it wrong. We have raised high expectations in Turkana. The public there expect that we're selling oil and they're getting the 5% tomorrow. The 20% is coming to the county. They will be rich tomorrow.
Let's talk about
this thing you saw there. Should be just seen as a smaller benefit. The larger benefits, which is now the amounts of money, the revenues that will come to Turkana, will come after we've sold the oil.
Tell me about the 5% to Turkana. And I know you've been asked this before, and I've seen you, answering that question before. They are saying they want money for school fees. They want money to, keep their families, family upkeep. They want money for development. They want money in their bank accounts. How did you tackle this in that Thursday meeting?
Well, in that meeting, we discussed that matter at length, and we agreed it's a matter we should shelve a bit until it is discussed in the Assembly and in Parliament. Because that 5% will be determined by the leadership in the House, in Parliament. People will discuss that. So it has been politicized. Half the team in Turkana who are saying, let's give this money to people's pockets. Half the group is saying
through
no.
What, bank transfers to everyone's accounts?
Like hunger and safety net program that is putting money in people's cards, so that you just go to an ATM and get your 5%. That I don't want to delve into because it's a matter that will be dealt with at Parliament.
But you don't. Do you have your recommendation? What would you recommend?
I should not recommend now because it's Parliament.
Okay.
But I want something good that is going to help the Turkana for a longer period. We cannot misuse the money we get, whether it was going to people's pockets or what. The bottom line is the president has pronounced on it that let's develop Turkana with oil money. Okay. Let's not misuse this money.
If the protests start again, will you be surprised?
I'll be very surprised if we don't follow the approach we are now doing.
So you believe if you follow that approach?
The approach that is being taken now by the Minister of Interior and the State Department is we are drawing an MOU, a return to work formula. That is what government is now doing. We want even to take it, we want to take longer even. We could even push this to 2 weeks.
So you might not even start next week, Monday. You might.
What is important is we want to get a return to work formula that shows how to engage. We want a structured approach that will ensure next time it happens, you are bringing your grievances on the table.
Next time are you expecting it to happen?
If it happens.
If it happens.
If
okay.
it happens.
Just checking.
It is very expensive, actually, to shut down. Shutdown is very expensive. It's costing us $1 million now.
So far?
So far, we'll be spending...
Over a week?
Over a week, 100 million Kenyan shillings.
Has been lost.
Has been lost. That's not a penny.
Who's going to bear that cost? The taxpayer?
Taxpayers.
Me and the
I
viewer?
want to challenge the Turkana people. For God's sake, it's a pity this happened. We are losing money that will actually be deducted from our revenues. The companies will be happy. Of course, they are not happy, but they will not lose at the end of the day. They will recoup this money from Kenya. And by you standing there to stop this oil, and still expecting government to provide for the development in Turkana, in all these areas, it is not right. Let's bring our grievances on the table.
Okay.
The president allowed us entry into State House to discuss those issues. We had expected our people to come back and say, look, let's raise them with the president again if the cabinet secretary cannot handle them, but not to disrespect a process, the goodwill from the government that is going on.
In your view as CS, what changed from the day when President Uhuru Kenyatta launched the project and when the protest started? Had leaders not been adequately consulted? Had the people not had enough time for public participation? We all saw the pictures from Turkana. We saw the jubilation. We saw the keen interest with which residents followed the proceedings there. What changed? What changed
was the Turkana public is saying the president pronounced himself on security.
Okay.
And said anybody attacking another person should be dealt with. And immediately that happened. Insecurity from West Pokot against Turkana started. So people are saying, why did they disrespect the president? Maybe to get attention from the same president who say that, let's stop this so that he comes. That should not have happened. We should have actually brought those issues on the table. I must say this without contradicting anybody. Cattle rustling is something we need. It's a national issue that should be addressed. It's happening in all these counties. It might have increased in Turkana, but it's happening in the northern rift, in areas of Eastern Province, in Marsabit. I know it's happening now. In Iselo, there are issues there with Turkana, Samburu, and Boran.
Okay.
And we need not to tie it with the EOPs. This should not have been tied together.
Okay.
It was wrong for them to have done that.
I want to ask you two more questions before we switch gears, because it's not just Turkana oil that you deal with, and you have a wider mandate than that.
Yes.
Transparency in the whole process of oil production is a concern. For example, you talked about an MOU with the leaders last week, Thursday.
Yes.
Will Kenyans get to see that MOU? Will Turkana people get to see that MOU?
They will see that MOU.
They will see that MOU.
Because I have a copy of the last one that was signed when we did the shutdown.
Okay.
We did the shutdown, and we had an MOU 4th of November 2013.
Okay.
That was the first MOU.
Yes.
That was signed by the State Department of Petroleum and the community and Talo. We expect this one also to come again. Tomorrow we want to get another MOU. On top of that, we want transparency in this nature. We are undertaking an audit of Talo. We want to audit what Talo is doing in Turkana. Because it is money. We're going to pay them. They're going to recoup from the oil proceeds.
Don't they do reports?
They will do reports, but we need an auditor to tell us, are they overcharging us? Are they doing this? Are we doing the right way? Is it expensive? Is it 100 million they're talking about really that has been lost?
Because it's a figure they've given you.
We will undertake an audit.
How soon?
It's going on now. The process of undertaking that audit has started. My PS is very keen on that. And it was raised by government that, yes, they've done a good job. We want to undertake an audit. It's taxpayers' money.
Okay. CS, hang on there a minute. We need to take a quick break. You're watching Citizen Extra? Okay. Oh, okay. Not yet. All right, then. Then we carry on. I beg your pardon for that. So that's one, and I think that's important.
I also wanted to tell to explain to the country what the effects of what has happened. There has been shut down on the wells, and when we restart, we need to warm up the tanks, restart the wells. It's a process. There's been a slowdown on the outreach activities for the public. We provide water for the people of Turkana.